Yeah, as I mentioned, one of the basic purposes that I've had with the Quick Pitch program is to plant the seeds of entrepreneurship around all of our campuses. And what I have found is that it has reached a consciousness there, and what it will enable us to do is to build additional programs. One of the great outcomes that I've had is that I'm now building partnerships with departments on all the different campuses and in a variety of fields, whether it's biotechnology or it's engineering, and it includes the arts as well. I've started an entrepreneur roundtable series, also supported by Make It Happen, and those partnerships are really key to making the success of building entrepreneurship among the campuses, and eventually to provide academic enhancements to the curricula of different programs at the various campuses as well. So yes, the program can and will be replicated, but more importantly, it provides a foundation on which to build additional programs.
Mm-hmm. Ed, I want to come to you for the next question. How has the Make It Happen Innovation Grant affected you in your work?
Without question, it has created, and this is already brought up, more of a collaborative environment with a lot of your coworkers. And a good example of that is I just helped two other folks within our department put together another grant. They knew that we had gotten the first one, and they said, gee, you know, would this be applicable to the learning centered and the innovative initiatives? And I said, you bet it would be. So you become kind of a touchstone, and it's very exciting to see that, because as Cliff pointed out, it's not just one person, but it's multiple people to show, and you're leading, if you will, say, hey, this can't happen, you know, and it's a bit of a pun because it is make it happen. Mm-hmm. And it's very true. And the program, I think, is just absolutely terrific in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to add something to that? How's it affected you and your work?
Well, I would say one of the things that's happened in our program is that as a result of opening this Pandora's box and kind of talking about green, and we have a course in sustainability, I think now people on the campus sometimes, they just associate. I mean, I'll get emails that are sent to me from Mike Whitcomb or something. He'll say, here's someone wants to know about a green course, and you're Miss Green, and wearing green. And I find that it's kind of, it doesn't take much to kind of become the expert. I think it also reaches out to our students about the fact that, do you guys know how special Montgomery College is? That, I mean, if you want to do something, you can do it. I mean, and you think about other institutions, and certainly I deal with other four-year institutions. I mean, this would take forever to get this kicked off. I mean, and we're in this institution where we have got an idea, and we just find someone who will, you know, make it happen grant, will support us, and we just do it. And I think that gives students, it spoils them, because they think, oh, well, that's the way it happens. Montgomery College, she wants to do something, she does it, it goes. But I think it also gives them that sense of they too can make something happen, because you just have an idea and you just push it. So I think that kind of broadens their education, as you said.
Yes, absolutely. Anyone else have a comment about that? Yes, Bob.
Yeah, just picking up on what I'd mentioned about partnerships. My center is not centered at any particular campus, and I'm not part of any particular academic program. So for me to be successful, I need to have partnerships with those people and students who are part of different programs. And this has given me that opportunity to to establish those partnerships. Some of the things that I've tried haven't worked right the first time, but I get the advice and I get the feedback, and they become easier to do the second time, and the possibilities are then opened up to do more and more things later on.
Are there any things that we haven't mentioned that any of the panelists would like to comment on about the grant process? Yes, Cliff?
I'm not sure if it was mentioned with enough energy, if it were mentioned at all, but the idea that the institution is saying, you have an idea, send it to us. We want to help you to make it happen. To me, just speaks volumes about the potential and the environment that we are in. And it serves us. It is we need to be intentional and to pursue that which keeps us moving. I think earlier there was a question about how does this affect your work? Well, many of us, I'm sure I'm not the only one who the first thought is, do I have enough time for another thing? Well, you know, just put that aside a moment and think about how can I integrate that which I can be passionate about into what I do every day. And I believe if you can make that connection, you have yourself a magnificent grant.
Any other comments about something wonderful that happened as a result of the grant? You've mentioned lots of things, but that the passion was something that has not come into the conversation in the same, in the way that you mentioned it. Yes, Ed?
Yeah, I can comment on that. At our semi-annual teacher get-together, we introduced the portable desktop environment to our teachers to let them know that this will be coming into their classrooms with a select group of students. And the teachers just took off on this. I mean, they loved it. And right now, we actually have a teacher playing with this environment to now make it better from his perspective for the students. So again, it's this snowballing effect, which is quite positive.
I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things I found about the idea of, in our own grant, is that basically our grant supported us in terms of prizes for students. I mean, like door prizes. If you came to the lecture, you had to write a little answer, a survey at the end. You had to answer a question about it, write a little bit. Then I gave door prizes to the cards I picked out, or somebody else picked out one of the surveys. And then students got credit because I would send their surveys to whatever teacher they said. It's possible credit. Sharon Ward of the biology department gave them credit. So many different students got credit in different programs. But one of the things was that the grant literally gave me the money to buy, I mean, I offered honorariums to our speakers, and they were so pleased to participate. They didn't want the honorarium. Instead, you know, it was more of a, it just made it more pleasant having the support and the financial. I mean, we couldn't have renovated the space either without it. So we appreciated having that money, which, right, we never have the time, but it was nice to have a little money.